How to build a brand for real estate agents. Hi, I'm Terry Bailey with Selling Utah Real Estate. To start off, whether or not you're trying to build a brand, everything that you do starts to create a brand for yourself. What I mean by this is as you start taking actions, you're developing a reputation. How fast am I responding to sellers? How fast am I responding to other agents? How fast am I responding to my buyers? How well do I know the market? So whether or not you're consciously trying to build a brand, you're having a brand being built for you with every action you take. But with social media, you can take that and put it on steroids. Now, more people are seeing that, right? So if you're a bad agent, if you're not on top of the ball, if you're rude to people, whoever you really are, all social media is going to do is amplify that, right? But on the other side, if you're an awesome agent, if you know the market super well, if you stay on top of the ball, if you respond very quickly, if you're just an awesome agent, then that'll show in your personal brand. And so again, social media will just amplify that. Now I'm going to talk about the results that I've had by building out a personal brand. And very briefly, my story is I started off single agent, started on a team, built that out, first full year, did about 40 transactions. And that was just being good at sales and being very on top of the ball. That was how we developed it there, right? But all along the way, I was documenting what I was doing. I was making videos on what I was learning. I was continuously putting my stuff out there, right? And then eventually I left the team. I left the constant deal flow that they were providing, and then I created my own deal flow. And a lot of that came through social media. Fast forward to where we're at today. We do about 50 deals a year, work about 20 hours a week. Something I talk about a lot in other videos, work-life balance, and continue to produce at a high level. But anyway, long story short, that's where we're at. But the way we did it is we just started putting content out there, right? And to be honest, if you go back and look at some of my first videos that I did, I would do hour-long videos explaining concepts that were incredibly dry. No one watched them, not even my mom. They were bad. They were that bad. Since then, we have learned a lot of different ways to create videos. We've learned short form content, especially. It's very, very effective in today's market. You're able to put out bite-sized pieces of content that people can consume and be a part of, identify well with, and then again, they start to create this relationship with you. I know the importance of building up a personal brand. I know the importance of putting content out there. You just haven't quite done it. And to be honest, I'm a big believer in done is better than perfect. Because a lot of us like to try to, what if this and what if that, and create like this perfect scenario. But at the end of the day, the more content you put out there, you're getting lag feedback, right? Everything else that you're construing in your mind, that's all theoretical feedback, right? Well, they might say this, they might say that. And I'm not saying don't be intentional about what you're posting, but it's much better to put stuff out there. Okay, cool. A lot of times I was losing people after 4 seconds. A lot of times I was losing people after 2 seconds, after 1 second, after 30 seconds, right? And you can start saying, hey, at what point am I losing people? What point in the script is that going poorly? And then again, at that point, you're getting real-time feedback, and then you can take and make adjustments from there. And the better you get at it, the more you can start to collaborate with other people, start to collaborate with more folks who are in the area that you want to be working. You can do different home tour videos. You can do different videos with restaurants or with local businesses, or however you want to build out your personal brand and whoever your ideal client is. You start to make more and more videos toward them, and then you start to cross-pollinate the followings from these other people who are in your area. And that's how you can take and start to grow. And as you start growing, then you start to have calls to action. Your stories are a great place to put those. You can essentially say, hey, who's looking to buy a house in 2023? And you can just do a story of like, hey, yeah, that's one of my goals, yes or no. And then folks can just put yes or no, and then that gives you a chance to reach out to them. Or you can do, hey, who's looking to buy a good deal? I have great seller financing properties that are coming up on the market, right? Raise your hand if you're looking to do something, right? You do different calls to actions to have people essentially raise their hand and say, yeah, I want to do something. Neil Dingra, he talks about this often. He uses the analogy of a tent. You just want to get as many people to your tent as possible. And in that tent, that is your email list, that's your following, that's your subscriber list, that's everyone who's engaged with you. And then you have your content that's entertaining them and bringing more people into the tent. And then once they're there, then you can have your calls to action. Make sure you don't have your calls to action in your short form video that's just putting value out there, right? You want to have value, 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 value. It's kind of like Gary Vee's book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, right? You want to make sure you're getting your jabs in before you ask anything from your clients. And essentially at that point, it's just a math equation, right? However big your database is and how often you're touching them is going to be a direct translation to how many deals you're doing. And if you build out the right processes and systems, then you're able to buy back your time, build out a good business, and have a good work-life balance. And that's essentially the gist of this video. If you guys have more questions on content creation, feel free to reach out. Happy to help however we can.